Hi, I'm Jackie Whitcomb-Roche with Bitterpill, and we're back in my shop to talk a little bit more about pattern construction, design, glass orienting, and a more complicated final project. We're back here at the light table, and we're going to take a look at this rabbit pattern. We have some really tiny pieces making up the anatomy, the anatomical heart of the rabbit, which are small hand cuts that we'll refine on the grinder. And we have some larger, more complicated pieces that we're going to take out our glass saw and work through with that. So I've got my trusty cutter. I'm going to hold it straight. I'm going to start off the glass. I'm going to push down and away from me. And off the glass. I'm going to give it a tap and it pops right off. So now for this piece, you'll notice that it's actually glued on upside down. The reason for that is the smooth side of the glass is actually the back, but we want this sort of more textured, interesting side to be the front. So we glue the pattern on upside down, cut it out the same way, and when we're done and putting it into our finished piece, we'll flip it over and it's going to be oriented the right way. We're moving over to a glass saw before we go to the grinder. The advantage of a glass saw is that it has a diamond bit blade which runs in a circular motion. It will not cut your fingers, so if you touch it, it's not going to do anything. It really is just vibrating the glass very quickly. The advantage of using a saw is that you can cut in any direction and it cuts and grinds at the same time, so it's very clean and it makes the glass safer to handle because there aren't really sharp edges at that point. So once you're done with the saw, you can bring it again, not that you necessarily have to, but you can bring it over to your grinder and just refine any of the shapes that you want to knock down. Okay, so once you are done at the grinder and the saw, you've made sure that everything fits perfectly as a dry fit in your pattern, which of course it does. We bring it over and we foil it. Now this glass piece is large and it's a little bit of a thicker glass, so I'm going to use the wider tape. So we just line it up in the middle and tuck it down with your finger just to let it hold and start moving it around. Especially with something with a really deep curve like this, take your time and make sure you have contact, because if you don't, it's going to buckle up when you try to burnish it down and you'll never get it smooth. A good example of using different colors and transparency levels is in this piece, which is called Collapse, which is a hive with a queen bee. You can see all the different colors and weights. If we didn't have copper foil to use, this really wouldn't have been possible. This bee is soldered to the top of the main plane, so it makes it three-dimensional. And if we'd had to use lead, it would have been too heavy and it would have sagged. So thank you, copper.